These testimonies are... Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, you know this outburst already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. But he is technically not a lawyer, you know. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Indeed. Of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly. Based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. Well, have you ever thought about maybe this second person not wanting to order anything in the first place? Beforehand? I don't know. Or maybe somebody already took that plate. Ugh, this doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. The photographic print of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. Carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. Yeah, I mean, the fact that this woman would not be seen there by both these people and the waiter. I mean, if Ryunosuke is telling the truth over here, then all of them are in on this. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain one time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Taketsuchi Auchi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. Alright, Ryunosuke. Stop going all Nick on me. And raise your chin. We are gonna be able to do this, no worries. How can this be happening? The judge is really true. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. Yeah. Alright, well, at first glance, I haven't seen anything that catches my eye. I guess we shall see through this. Even if what I saw was the precise moment the fire was discharged. It's almost the same thing.
Yes!
Ryunosuke, stop saying yes, goddammit. You're yelling that as if you're agreeing with what this guy is saying. No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Do you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. Is it? I don't know. So there you have it. Have what? Tension! The sound of the fire rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? What a weird argument. And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Korekuta-san? Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man. He was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see.
Yes!
Was he really pointing his gun at him though? Yeah, it may be true that I was holding a gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Obviously, as a culprit, that's the only way you could explain it that way. I just finished drinking my coffee. I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment, a gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Okay, Yoda. In our case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor, and I found myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Okay, and? Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you. The pistol in hand, standing over the floor. You know, I guess one way of contradicting such thing would be if the pistol is still fully loaded. Because if it is, then there's no way that the bullet came from that gun. You know, I mean, that's one way of going over this. If the gun is still fully loaded, as we have it like right here. But I don't think that we know that yet. Or I don't know if Eric could be able to use that, but furthermore, the visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As we have been at pains to point out time and again. I feel like growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Ugh. If only there'd be more people dining there at the time, and someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know. Of course the place was almost empty. That's what you'd expect. Sorry, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. And whatever, there was a reason why the victim was eating at the time of the day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency. There was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that console? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. A medical report card? It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hota Clinic. Yeah, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the lady in question. Ah! What the hell? My head is starting to hurt when I hear that name for some unknown reason. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it already has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Leonoskin? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence, if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted as evidence or not? Of course.
Yes!
Now that I can agree to. If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend. Ah, good old times. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. A medical report card from Hora Clinic that was found in the victim's pocket. The victim's medical report card has been entered in the court record. Alright. Let me see about this. I cannot really examine this. A medical report card from Hora Clinic that was found in the victim's pocket. A bottle of carbonated water. Let me examine this a little bit. I wonder if this is gonna help us. We have to explore things from every possible angle. We need to seem relevant at first. Alright, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like. But is the day after the festival already for you? Or perhaps you've forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korikuta-san. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table. A meal for one. No. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they are all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. For now, that is. Therefore, no other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over the note!
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Fortunately for you, Defendant Naruto, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry. And there was also the waiter. The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing, remember? He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, if you are the sole You are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But I... If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We gleaned some new information. Well, yeah, but I don't feel like it changes much. I cannot see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let's see that medical report card you got there. Oh, you mean this? Yeah, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little bit more detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press space, and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Oh, I see. Yeah, you know, I feel like at this point I would have noticed some discrepancy. And I also did notice that the medical record, I was not able to examine it. But now we can. Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's because the game wanted us to reach this particular point where Kazama would explain this to us. And then we're gonna be able to see the evidence. I guess we wouldn't have been able to see the evidence prior to this. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using WASD. Okay. It reminds me of the good old times of Rises from the Ashes. Again, I do miss Emma. I wonder if she's doing fine these days. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press space to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use WASD, the arrows, and space to inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. Okay, well, first of all, let me look at this thing right over here. Can I? Or does it only... Or I think I should wait for this, don't I? Okay. I guess so. I guess I cannot really look at the evidence of my own will. Only a specific amount, specific times. Name, Mr. John Wilson. Hota Clinic. Yeah, it says Hota Clinic on this medical report card. Hey, 2D sprites. I hate clinics. Almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Ugh, I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people will give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. I don't want to miss anything. Okay. Can I, yeah, we can totally check, like, with this. What about, hold on. I don't find anything on a place. Yeah, there's nothing to be seen over here. What about right over here? Dentist? Hota Clinic. Date? It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment. That's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I cannot imagine going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors, then? Well, why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. And then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. Yeah, you sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less. I mean, I'm not the one against doctors, but I am against, like, the Hada Clinic. It doesn't sound like a good place for you to go to. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less. For which the only cure is very bitter medicine, indeed. Huh. What about this? Can we check inside? Ah. This must be the record of the days when Wilson went. Are we gonna find out that he didn't go today? Let's have a look. There's some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? Yeah, it seems so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used a laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yeah, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. No, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Ah, I see where this is going. I can already see it. That you're not allowed to drink like specific like drinks and such. You're not allowed to drink specific things, and yet on the table there is gonna be like something that Wilson was not supposed to drink, like that carbonated water maybe. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Ah, okay, of course. There's also that. He is not allowed to eat or drink anything besides water for 3 hours. And yet there was steak there. Why would he eat that steak if he went to the dentist before this? Freely? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. A record of dental work. On the day of the murder, the victim had undergone dental treatment and been prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water. Yeah, there you go. There's the contradiction. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So, I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Alright. Well, let's see what statement we're talking about over here. Yeah, it could be this. Or this. It wasn't that he was dining by himself, because he couldn't. Okay. Let me see, can I skip through this? I gotta know how to skip this. If there's like a fast play of this. I mean, there was a button for that in Ace Attorney. I mean, there's a button for that in general in visual novels, to speed things through. Now, I was gonna say that things are a little bit different for visual novels that have like 3D movement, but then you also have like the Somnium Files. I do remember that you're actually gonna be able to skip through those as well, like really fast. Okay, well this, let me see, can I, nah, it doesn't go back. Hold on. Oh, I can use, yeah, I can use the wheel for this. Let's see. Okay, so that one is not good. That one is... oh, that could be used as well. Dining all by himself. Okay, you know what? I feel like this should be the best one. No, would this thing over here contradict that he was alone? But it also contradict that he was actually dining in the first place, so...
Yes!
Eh, well, I think, about what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could. But first and foremost, I am the accused. Ryonosuke. If one stumbles on their words occasionally, under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully. You knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Yeah, he knows it. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright. And thanks for the advice. Korekota-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, dear. Have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You're not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. Christ. Can you let Ryonosuke just say his thing here? God damn it. Let's see if I can explain the words you might understand. Okay, here we go. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before at that time is completely irrelevant. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Grr. But that's, remember, Ryonosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Excellency, I believe we are finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. Yeah, he's using like fancy words in order to confuse you, Ryonosuke. Focus. You just say your point over here. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all. For the simple reason, there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could have... Hey, there you go! This medical report card has nothing to do with the case. They really believe that. What? That almost have petrified me, boy. Yeah, his power is already increasing. You can already sense it on the disc that he just slept. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be irrelevant? Perhaps because Hora Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? It's supposed to mean something to me. Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. Was this though? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. Yeah, totally makes sense. And it still makes sense that there will be just one plate of food there as well. It's just that it wasn't Wilson who ordered that steak. It was that somebody else that Ryonosuke was talking about. Just what are you trying to say, cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure, while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that cannot be. Korekota-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more? There's definitely a lot more. Yo. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted, and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Expertly done, partner.
Objection!
What is this nonsense? You let up start. These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. And that's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? Yeah, he is going under his own interpretation that there was steak there, therefore he must have eaten. That it is a fact. That's not the case. I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Hey! Man, even the puns were timeless. Wouldn't you agree, Hironosuke? Yes, most definitely. I mean, I cannot really disagree with that. That pun was really, really great. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel. Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Aye aye, Kazuma. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been the victim himself, me, the two witnesses, an as yet unknown third party. Let's go with that. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table. Let's go full speed ahead.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person.
Yes!
Leonosuke, stop saying yes, goddammit. There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on this table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. Yeah. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through our ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Oh, you guys better listen, otherwise Kazuma over here is gonna go on a full rampage. Kazuma? Are you insane? You take on the government? Oh man, take on the world government. Don't worry, Kazuma. I have no issue. What do you mean? I have issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand. Why? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Good old perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit? In murder? No! Negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. Orders from who? That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they, told us. Oh. What? What did you say? Kurikuta-san? Ah, the good old slip of the tongue. Oh, no. You were just following orders? Now hold on, lad. I was, Say you never saw the gentlewoman. Ugh. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of all this? Yeah, you didn't expect this one, Pain. These witnesses gave false statements? No, you think? Is this true, you pair? Just one. Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order! Order! Counsel, explain what is going on here. Now, I do have to address this. I don't think that Pain is really into something over here, that he actually knows the truth over here. It could very well be that he didn't know about these two people lying. He could have believed that these people were lying. I mean, as long as it... he truly could have believed that what these people were saying was true. Because that would further empower his case. For him to hear out the possibility that these two were in on it, that wouldn't help his case like at all. It's painfully clear. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Was he? Absolutely not. Prosecution knows nothing of this. Now who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You're... This can't be happening. I don't know, Skin. Judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with a considerable influence. Sounds like it. However, I don't believe Ouchi had any idea about it. Yeah, I do believe that too. I mean, if I'm thinking about present Pain, he was never the Machiavellian type guy who would forge evidence and such. Like, he only wanted to win the prosecution cases with that's all, folks. With what he had. It is when the tables are turned that he, most of the time, Pain doesn't even know about what is going on. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It can only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Oh boy, things are starting to heat up. The scales are definitely going higher and higher. Oh, any ideas about who might be behind this? Well, who specifically? I have no idea. We can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses. Then we can continue our pursuit. So I need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we will need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. I guess that's why we're gonna have our next cross-examination here. But how? How can we possibly... I remember how we made progress before. We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Ah, yeah, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. Oh, does it... Could it be that I missed something over here? Let me see. Wait a minute. An anesthetic? This was taken from the West. Which would mean that we're talking about a person who is from the West themselves. Maybe. Which, under these special circumstances, someone from the West, whatever their position was, maybe they would have like more power. Okay, well let me see about something over here. Let me see about this. History, autoplay. I guess I cannot really skip through this, can I? The options are very limiting in this, I've noticed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you, the penalty will be severe. Please, wait. Your Excellency. I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all this? Well, Your Excellency. No time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses... With the necessary influence... Oh god. Could it be Yuji Mikotoba? I mean, he is a medical professor. He's an authority in forensic medicine, and Kazuma's mentor. Or it... I mean, it could be them. Sergeant Nosa over here would definitely have some influence over here. Okay, let's see about Yuji Mikotoba over here. There. What do you make of that? I think, Counsel, that you may want to close your ears as well as your eyes. Otherwise, the sighs of disappointment in the courtroom may very well deafen you. You must close your eyes in a crisis. I suggest you keep your mouth shut next time, too. Otherwise, I may have to use the influence I have in this courtroom to shut it. Permanently. Okay. Well, there's the first penalty. I don't know what it is about that prosecutor exactly, but he really makes me wince in pain sometimes. And I have a great deal of influence myself, but believe me, I cannot find any other ways to make you keep your mouth shut as well. Alright. Don't get angry. I'll think again. There must be a clue somewhere in all the evidence in the court record. Oh, wait, hold on a second, Now that we have, like, the option to examine even further, can we, look at the back of this, or more like the front of the business card right over here? Like, is there some information that tells us something about the waiter over here? The span of the restaurant raises a number of questions, I think. Definitely. It's supposed to show the relative position of everything in the moments following the incident. But there's nothing to show the woman you say you saw there. Exactly. And that's not all. Look here in the upper left where it says kitchen. Oh yeah, what of it? No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen. Especially not if they were in a hurry. You mean you don't remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Ryonosuke. Okay. Like, is there like any other way to look at the back of the... Well, actually, hold on, let me do it like this. Ah, there you go. What does this say over here? Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Oh, there you go. This is some stuff. That's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Yeah, business cards do tend to show the person's name. And that's right at the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like a person that has quite the influence with that long title for their job. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. Let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. They're wielding it somehow here. The waiter's business card information has been updated in the court record. On the front, it stated that Hosonaga-san is a police inspector. Ah, there you go. Okay, in which case, hold on, let me, okay, I cannot check the back of this photo. What about this? Can I, nah. Victim. Oh, hold on a second. This is actually, okay. Like, I was looking at the description over here, but I don't think we can, I don't think that I checked this. Time of death, 19th November, shortly after 2 p.m. Male, British, John H. Wilson. Which, you know, only recently did I actually connect the dots, and this is actually Watson. This isn't just some random guy. Like, IRL, well, technically IRL of Sherlock Holmes stories, this is actually Watson. Except that here, they changed their name to Wilson. Watson is dead! Oh, Jesus Christ. Man, I really wanted to meet the Watson, but now he's dead. Now he's dead, before I even met them. Oh, that certainly blows. Single bullet fired at close range, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. Okay, so this is where Leonosuke was reading from. It was this. No exit wound, bullet did not pass through the body. Okay, so we got that. Can we examine this even further? Nah. Ah, the symbol of Yume University. Every student wears its pin with pride. Yeah, it's funny, but most emblems seem to be either round or rectangular. I like this bike design, even though it doesn't really make any sense. Although, it does cause problems. Lots of students end up cutting their fingers on their badges. Really? Perhaps it was the idea of one of the founders. A sharp pin for a sharp mind, or something. Ugh. It is a cool design, though. It is quite something. Why make it so sharp? Well, I guess since this is in the past, it kind of makes me question what the history of plastic is all about. So it kind of makes me wonder. Okay, let's continue. Actually, now that I think about it, there might be some pieces of evidence I haven't fully examined yet. Yeah, like that thing that we just examined right now about Hosonaga. Yeah, what does the defense have to say about all this? Well, Your Excellency. No time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes into my head. Perhaps besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is... Okay, now we know. Now we know. The one person with quite the influence is this guy, Satoru Hosonaga.
Yes!
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Objection!
Poppycock! Hey! I like that word. I don't know. What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were? Ah, the plot thickens. The plot thickens as much as Aochi's sweat beads over here. I mean, look at those sweat beads. Those are some thick sweat beads. They come from his hair. Man, quite a detail. Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. Hey, Ryunosuke did not flinch that time. The truth about Satoru Hosanaga's real identity, as proven by this evidence. The evidence that we found right over here. It says that on the front it stated that he is a police inspector.
Yes!
Yes! The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude any... Sorry, Your Excellency. That's the back of the car. It's the back of the cards that's of interest. Exactly. It's the back of the card that's of interest to us. Not the back. The back of the back. I beg your pardon? What? The back of the back, Your Honor. Or perhaps I should have said at the front. Nah, I like the sound of the back of the card. Hey! Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Osanaga-san sketched a plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his distance card. I mean... Okay, well, Ryunosuke did have the energy there. He finally managed to slap on that desk way hard with that spirit. It's like Will Smith said at some point. He got the spirit. Even though he probably needs to learn some more, I don't know, 3D modeling and such. Was the front of the object? Was the back of the object? The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession. His true profession. The waiter's profession. That's surely... Good gracious! Yeah, the waiter did not think about that. You should have used the other business card that says that he is a waiter. No, he accidentally used his card that told us that he's an inspector. Why do police inspectors go around with business cards of all things? That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power, as far as regular civilians are connected. As far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... But... Oh. Inspector Hosonaga? I was worried something like this might happen. The moment you asked me to submit a sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. I guess you were worried about that, huh? The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yeah, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all the investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So, you mean to say, you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? I don't know. I mean, obviously it's because he had a mission. But more importantly, why would he be doing this stuff? Why is he hiding this from us instead of helping us? Of course, your study must... I was working undercover. Undercover? Yeah. There have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? There will be classified police information, which I am at no liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Well, in which case we would be at an impasse there, wouldn't you think, Osanaga? I mean, if this classified information impedes our investigation of this particular crime scene, then what do you think is gonna happen? Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you will elaborate on one point for court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. Yeah, I mean, technically in your police investigation that you're doing over here, being undercover, you may possibly be hiding the actual murderer of this case. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I'm led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. As soon as I heard a gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an English woman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Oh? Special orders? You mean to say remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once? Oof. I feel like we're getting into some real deep shit right over here. Especially when it comes to the English woman. I feel like this is part of the peace treaty that has been talked about, like right here. And basically, if we are to find out that the murderer was actually somebody of English nationality, then some fucked up stuff might happen. So, I don't know. I feel like the police would try to remove the English woman from the equation, just so that nothing bad would happen afterwards if we are to find out that the English woman was the murderer. Even if that would actually be the truth. So, it depends. Are we actually gonna leave this woman out of the equation? Let the possible culprit escape scot-free so that we would continue with peace? Or we would try and capture this possible culprit, but at the cost of risking the peace treaty between two nations. Poof, this is some stuff here. If that is actually where we're going with this.